as accredited investors. So we're going to go through what it is to become one and what you can do if you are an accredited investor. So my name's Ken Finnan. I'm known as a Series 7 Whisperer. My channel is. And I'm here to help people pass the exams like the 7 and stuff. But this is really just to let people know what an accredited investor is, because since that ruling, I've had tons of phone calls, emails, probably a couple times a week, asking how they can become one and if I can help them. So let's get into the whole thing and knock out all the misconceptions. I don't know if you can hear that, quite the storm that's going on. And if I'm talking weird, it's because, well, my teeth are just screwed up. And I can't get to the dentist for another week or so. So I'm just going to have to deal with it and hope you don't see me spit my teeth out. Now, back into this. So what is an accredited investor? So there are definitely definitions for the accredited investor. So let's start with the one thing. If you have a net worth of $1 million, net worth of $1 million, not including your house, you are considered an accredited investor. If you're single and you make over 200 grand a year, and it's happened for the last 2 years. Now, it's interesting when they look at it, they don't say if it's like March and you're on your paycheck, you're going to make over 200 grand a year. You need to have made it already. So you can't be like, oh, I'm tracked to make 200 grand. They're going to do it on the day you do it. Have you made 200 grand a year for the past 2 years? So if this is your second year making 200 grand, you have to wait until you actually hit 200 to be accredited. Or if you're single. If you're joint, married, it's 300 grand. Now, the both don't have, it's one of you, between the two of you, there has to be 300 grand in income. Income doesn't have to be salary, it could be any kind of income. Next, this is the expanded one. If you have the Series 7 exam or the 65 or the 82, in good standing, that means with a firm. So if you have the 7 or the 82, it must be with an actual broker dealer. The 65 has to be registered in the state, usually under an investment advisor. There are loopholes about having a sole proprietorship and being one, but literally you have to have the license and it has to be held and registered by the state. Now, we also have pods. So if the partners, officers, and directors of the firm that you're trying to buy the shares of, they are considered accredited. Any kind of entity like a firm that has investments of over $5 million, they're considered accredited. You're not going to care about these as much, but it's good to know. Any LLCs, general partnerships, corporations, trusts with assets over $5 million are considered accredited. Any entities where every equity owner is accredited. So if all the owners are accredited, then it's accredited, even if they have less than 5 million. Oh, I did that in there. Good. Now, any investment advisor, broker dealer, bank, insurance company, investment company, business development company, I probably didn't write it here. All of those are considered accredited. They really, really expanded the definition. And that is it. That is what is accredited investor. Now, let's say you're going to invest in a private placement. They're going to make you prove this shit to just get the information. Okay. Just to get the information, probably you're okay just saying it. But if you want to actually invest, there's going to be an administrator who's going to check your shit to see if you're really accredited. So let's go over some of those things. I'm going to add one more thing if you have a trust, okay? So say this is a trust that you want to know if it's accredited or not. If it's a revocable trust, all the grantors, the people set it up, have to have basically greater than $1 million net worth, or the trust has $5 million in assets. If it's irrevocable, then the trust Hey, this is Ken at Capital Advantage Tutoring. It's my job to get you past the Series 7, right? We're going to try. Well, it's 1:30 in the morning, freaking crazy. I'm watching McLeod, or I just watched Donnie Brasco again, but I was teaching till about midnight, and I had this video that I did. I worked with an analyst class, a couple of them, and they asked me to do a high-level review of options on a chart. So we did that the night before they took the test, and they said it was all super helpful. They see all the option stuff they need, not the matrix. We have the matrix, it's something different. So we're going to give it a shot. Stay to the end and take a screenshot, and maybe that you can print out and put on your wall. I did different colors, like I did green for bullish, red for bearish, and then other colors. So what is
Holy
an
crap.
accredited investor? Well, they opened up about 4 years ago. In 2020,
I can't believe
they
it
opened
shut
up the
down on me.
definition to include a lot more people as accredited investors. So we're going to go through what it is to become one, and what your assets over $5 million are considered accredited. Any entities where every equity owner is accredited. So if all the owners are accredited, then it's accredited, even if they have less than 5 million. Oh, I should have. Yeah, I did that in there. Good. Now, any investment advisor, broker dealer, bank, insurance company, investment company, business development company, I probably didn't write it here. All of those are considered accredited. They really, really expanded the definition. And that is it. That is what is accredited investor. Now, let's say you're going to invest in a private placement. They're going to make you prove this shit to just get the information. Okay. Just to get the information, probably you're okay just saying it. But if you want to actually invest, there's going to be an administrator who's going to check your shit to see if you're really accredited. So let's go over some of those things. I'm going to add one more thing if you have a trust, okay? So say this is a trust that you want to know if it's accredited or not. If it's a revocable trust, all the grantors, the people set it up, have to have basically greater than $1 million net worth, or the trust has 5 million in assets. If it's irrevocable, then the trust just has to have 5 million in assets. So literally, if you have a revocable trust, all the grantors have to be accredited investors, okay? And having a greater than 1 million in net worth, okay? Or the trust has 5 million in total assets, either one. So those.
It would help if I didn't have my fucking mute on. Fucking A, I am a moron. I am a moron of morons. Okay. So that's why I say I'm a dumbass. It happens all the fucking time. Look at Tesla. Fucking NVIDIA. Hopefully you can hear me now. So Finn Minty, repost your question if you don't mind. Hannah, I love it. Welcome on. Guys, welcome on. I hope you're doing well. Jeff should be on here at some point later today. I don't know where he is. I'm going to have to scold him, see if he's coming on. Sometimes they forget. I was trying to do something fun on this. You should be able to hear me now, right? Okay, good. Okay. I was trying to do something fun with the widget thing. I'm about to try it when I'm offline to see if it works. Yeah, I'm fucking back. It's crazy. Okay. So Hannah, thank you very much. I love it. Somebody goes, you can tell how old somebody is by how they do a heart. It's like this, or like, I don't know. There's something weird. They can tell how old they are. Okay. So good. So Finn Minty, if you have a question, can you throw it back in now and go, and I'll handle it. If you guys have questions, throw them in there. Look, a couple of things that we're seeing, right? So one of the things we saw was a qualified charitable deduction, okay? QCD. That's showing up on the 65 and the 66, okay? Now, what that means is that if you're living off your retirement account, probably not the way to go. But if you have enough money and you're getting closer and closer to your RMD, and maybe you don't need the money yet. Maybe you don't need the money for your RMD yet. So what you want to do is you want to take it out without incurring a tax. You can actually put it in a qualified charitable deduction. I think the max is 111 grand a year. 55,000 can be split into a charitable trust. But the point is, you can take the money out, and once you turn 7.5, this is showing on the exam. Once you turn 7.5, you can take the money out of a qualified charitable deduction, and meet your RMD by doing that without you having to pay taxes. It won't count towards your or it will not count towards your gross income. So that's the way to do it. Now, if you're living, if you need that money, then obviously it doesn't work. And you can't do it until you're 70 and a half. What else can we talk about here? We know what QDIA, 2DRO. Okay, here we go. Fin Minty, I can do that shit. Okay, couple quick things before I get started because I have you here in the grass. One, we have memberships, right? So remember, the memberships are for you guys. Since you're taking this, this is NASA night, not FINRA night, but Fin Minty. All the anything that overlaps, I'm happy to do. If you pass, I got a couple people passing today that were out. Actually, about 12 people passed today, which was good. Yesterday was tough. Well, yeah, yesterday I had 2 people miss, and it was sad. And then today I had 12 pass. I was like, oh, maybe I'm not good at what I do. And then 12 people.
12 pass.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
I know, it's awesome. Okay.
They must have been giving away. What do you think?
I know they must have been giving it away. I'm going to get investigated for being too fucking good at what I do. No, I'm kidding.
People are now thinking like, hey, what was special about today? And I should do that. Maybe I should take my exam on Thursday.
I know it should be on Thursdays. I know that's crazy. I know that's funny. Could be. Okay. So the memberships are $34.99 a month. We meet on Mondays at 6:00 p.m. Eastern, because Eastern's the only one that counts. And then if you jump all the way up to $49.99 a month, we also meet on Thursdays at 7 p.m. We did it before. So my membership class ends around 7:50. I go from 7 to 7:50. Then they're on my Zoom right now, sitting there doing questions together. There's like 15 of them. Some are taking the test tomorrow, so they won't, but other ones will. Look what I'm doing. That's bad. Okay.
Wait. Okay, hold on. We got Billy here.
Okay.
We've got Billy on standby. When's Billy's exam?
I don't know. It's soon. It must be Friday.
I thought he took it. I
think it's Saturday.
Oh, Saturday.
Yeah. Okay.
Billy, stay in the zone. Stay in the zone.
Yep. Okay. So Fin Minty. Anyway, so the membership are good. If you need extra questions, I have 3 vendors that I work with. Okay. STC. I have a link in most of the things. If you go right to my front page and you hit the more, you'll see the links. I have STC. I have Achievable. And then I have Securities Institute of America. All 3 of them you can get new questions from. Well, STC, you can buy the supplemental. Achievable, you have to buy the program, but it's still pretty fucking cheap. And the Securities Institute of America, you can buy just the question bank. Okay. For all these
Billy's tomorrow, actually. So what do you usually say? Okay. What's your line?
Get the fuck off my live, Billy. What the fuck are you doing on my live? Get the fuck off.
The routine. Come on.
Yeah, come on. You know the game. If you have any questions, feel free to come on, but that's okay. Now, other than that, I think we're good. Let's go. Oh.
Ooh, you just froze.
He came back from his suspension. No, he was on hiatus. He worked at a firm where they wouldn't let him teach. He's back. He's done a few students. I got Mike and I got Arseny. Mike is in New York now for a couple more days. He got stuck. He went to an anniversary party for my cousin on Saturday, and he has not. JetBlue keeps canceling his fucking flights, so he's not leaving until Saturday. And he's leaving on like Breezy Air, which I think is like, I don't know. They have rubber bands and they check your weight before you get on. Okay. Out of Islip. Where's that? That's out by you, right?
Islip.
Yeah, Islip, the airport.
Did you say Iceland?
Islip.
Oh, I think you said Iceland.
Yeah.
Well, it's not out, but I mean, it's closer to me than to you, but.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lot closer to you. But anyway, so he's staying in Rockaway right now with my cousin.
And also, while we're at the beginning here, the question of the day, we posted on Tuesday. I'm sure there's different people on here. If you had one place to pick where you study your best, where would it be? So we had a bunch of answers on Tuesday. Curious to see what everybody thinks. Tonight.
Where do you best study? That's the best thing. Where
are you most productive?
Right.
Perfect. Where do you get the most knowledge?
Now, 2 things. One, this is not last 2 things, and then I start doing questions. If you want tutoring, go to CapAdvantageTutoring.com. You're there. If you don't like my style, I'm too aggressive, I'm too bombastic, you can go check out Michael Weiss, who's really good at this shit too. He has a CFA, which is fucking outstanding. I'm afraid of that test. He has Series 7 exam tutor.com. He also runs a Series 7 exam Reddit and Series 66 exam Reddit. I run Series 65 exam Reddit. It's really tiny. I haven't really touched at it yet. But again, stay off Reddit, right? Okay, now. Okay, here we go. Okay. First of all, I want to get to Finmint. I'll get you, but Billy's going to bed soon. So, yeah, they will tell you. I promise you, they're not going to hide the ball. They will absolutely tell you whether they want tax equivalent yield or after tax. They're not going to hide the ball from you. So you're going to rock this thing, okay? You're going to rock it. And Graham, baby, Graham, he was on the call today, fucking outstanding. He's walking around answering questions like a madman. He is ready for this fucking test. Okay. Ooh, Captain Scummy. See, now we're on NASA night. I can answer all your questions, Captain Scummy. Okay.
Captain Scummy.
Let's CPT Scummy. I'm assuming that's what it is. Unless it's CPT Cummy. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Okay. So I'm not going to do a little slobs over bliss, but I'm going to talk about different types of orders. Okay. So first of all, a market order is when you just place an order and you don't really care about the price. You just say, hey, I want to buy the stock and I don't care. Think of it this way. If you know you're on your way to a party and your fucking heels break or something, okay, obviously, well, not obviously women anymore. So if your heels break and you go, my God, I need new shoes, you're going to walk into Nordstrom's, which is just happening right there, and buy shoes regardless of the price because you need them. That's a market order. I want the stock. I want to pay it. I don't want to wait. I just want to buy, like Google, I'm willing to pay. I don't care if it's $318 or not. I'm just going to buy it. I want to get it. Now, a limit order is I want to buy Microsoft, but I don't want to pay more than $381. Okay. So I'm saying I will buy it at $381, but I will not pay higher than that. So if it gets at $382, $385, $388, don't fucking care. I'm literally saying I'm willing to buy it at $381, and that's it. That's a limit order. Okay. Limit order sets a price. The guy did it with one of the students in my in the class today, and she goes, well, the limit order is guaranteed price but not guaranteed execution, which is what the books try to teach you. So that means you're memorizing, not understanding. Okay. So a market order is guaranteed execution but not guaranteed price because you're placing an order to buy it wherever it is. Now, the second one, okay, do you see my new glossary things I'm putting in? Happy in Spanish is feliz. Okay. Okay, now, the next part of this is a limit order saying I want to buy it, but I don't want to pay more than a certain price. Or sell it, I don't want to sell less than a certain price. You're setting a budget, as one of my students said. Now, if I go to buy something at 42, if I call up and say, I want to buy, we're going to have to go green today. Do you remember that our place we worked, one of our COOs was always against wearing red on the floor? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Because there was always a thing that you don't wear red on a trading floor because red means.
No, I've been in other places where like I took out a red pen like early in my career, and somebody came running across the desk and threw it across the room.
There you go. Okay, here we go. So if I say buy 100, it's not say 100. If I call up and say buy 500 at 40 IOC, that's not International Olympic Committee. That's immediate or cancel. That means I want to buy 500 at 40, buy as much as you can, and then cancel it. Okay, you're buying 500 at 40 IOC. That means I'm willing to buy up to 500 shares at 40 right now. You buy 300, cancel the rest. You buy 400, cancel the rest. You buy nothing, cancel it. You're not sitting there all day. That's that. Now, so you can get a partial. Means you can get 300, you cancel the rest. Now, if I call up and say buy 500 at 40, all or none, that means I'm willing to buy 500 shares at 40, buy all of it or none of it. So if I call up and say, oh, I give Jeff an order to buy 500 at 40, all or none, right? If I give that to him and then he goes, well, I can sell you 300. I go, nope, but I'll wait and see if you can sell me the whole 500. So in all or none, you sit there all day long and you'll wait the whole day to see if you can get 500 at 40. That's the way that goes. I want to buy 540. Boom. Okay. Now, we good with that? I hope we are. Now, but I won't not take a partial. Now, the last one is a FOK. Fill or kill. Buy $500 fill it. That's fill it or kill it. That means it's an all or none order, but you only get one shot. You cancel it if it's not there. Okay. So the whole point here is that I buy 500 of fill or kill. That means I want to buy all of it at 40 or don't buy any of it. Don't buy 300, don't buy 90, and you cancel right away. So again, IOC is buy as much as you can right now and cancel it. That's an immediate order. All or none is buy all of it or none of it, but you can sit there all day. This is a combination. This is an immediate all or none order. Okay. So that's why with an immediate or cancel, okay, let me do it this way. With limit orders and immediate or cancel, you can accept partials and you have to. So if I give you 1,000 to buy 30, whether it's immediate or not, and you only buy 800 shares, I have to take that. But if it's an all or none or fill or kill, I will not take any of those because I will only take a full execution. Let me go through this one. So sponsored versus unsponsored ADR, really it just means a sponsored ADR usually trades on an exchange, and whoever buys the shares, okay, the bank who buys all the foreign securities, they are working with the issuer may even issue them to them, okay? They may even issue those shares to them, okay? Now, an unsponsored means they buy them on their own, and they probably trade over the counter. Not a big deal. I don't think heavily tested. Then the last one is, okay, solicited versus unsolicited. If I'm the customer and Jeff is the rep, if I call Jeff up and say, hey, buy 1,000 shares of IBM, I'm calling him. He's not soliciting. That's an unsolicited order. And if it's unsuitable, he will say, Ken, that's moronic, but he'll have to do it. And he'll mark it unsolicited on the order ticket. However, if he calls me up and says, hey, Ken, I think you should buy IBM, and I go, sure, do it, that's a solicit. Unsolicited means the customer did the contribution. Solicited means that the rep made the choice. Now, where's my bed, Billy? Okay. You're going to bed, and then you ask me a lot of fucking questions, Billy. Okay.
He's sleeping. He sleeps in it.
He's going to sleep. Okay.
Talks in his sleep.
I know, that's fine. Okay, so let's see. So Agamorora. Okay, nice Irish name. I've been everything. Yeah, you're Agamorora. Okay, you are definitely ready for this. You're as ready. You get in the mid-70s. You got a 75 in the green light, which is a hard test. I tell people not to worry about it. And you did well in the brutals. You should be fine as long as you take your time. Take your time. Don't rush it. And read every fucking word. Get in the habit of reading. Like I had one of the girls, she did this. She said that she reads backwards, right? So she'll read, instead of reading the first one, she'll read the answers. D, then C, then B, then A, and then read the question. Because if you do A through D, you kind of fill in the blanks. Because remember, you don't want to bring your own shit into the question. Don't make assumptions. Don't fill in the blanks. Don't do any of that. Okay. You're going to be fine. Okay. Steven, we're going to get this. Okay. You're going to nail this, Steven.
I
know.
Billy, get some sleep.
I know. You're going to be fine. I'm going to answer questions, but I almost don't want to because I want you to go to sleep. Okay. Yeah, Captain Scummy, I'm going to help you. I'm going to stay on here, but I'm going to hit Billy's first unless it doesn't work with this. Hold on, wait. John Fury. Oh, baby. Well, let's see if I have that. Let's see. Well, this is the closest I have.
I want to take me to Funky Town. Want to take me to Funky Town. Want to take me to Funky Town.
Make a suffer through it more than once. Good. I love it. Okay. Okay. Boom, I love it. Billy, that's a good idea. Then get some sleep is more important than last minute shit. I promise you. Okay.
At this point, absolutely.
Okay. Good. Okay, here we go.
Absolutely.
One second. I'm reading it. Where is it? There's something I want to put in here. There we go. But you should have seen I did something before and it fucking froze up again on me. Remember how before we froze up?
Yep.
It happened again, but and I was like, holy crap. And I don't know what happened. I think I was trying to do a widget, break a new widget, and it just shut me down. I'm going to try to do it after we shut down. I'm going to see if I can create the widget I wanted to create. Okay. Okay. Okay, here, this is so easy, baby. This is so easy. There's 4 that you have to worry about. 4, count them 4. Ready? So when any advisor that registers, okay? So Billy, I'd rather you go to sleep than get these questions, because those little one-offs are not going to make a big deal. Okay. Form AD, there's 4 of them: 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. Okay. All advisors, all investment advisors, not broker dealers, all investment advisory firms will file a 1A either through the regulator, the SEC or state, on the IARD system. That is the information, like how much money we have, who our officers are, where the offices are, all the facts about the firm. That's 1A. 1B is for state advisors. That's extra questions. So all advisors do 1A, only state advisors do 1B. Boom. You don't have to give that to the customer, but they can access it through, yes, why you said it, IARD. Now, a lot of times if you go on broker check, it'll say, oh, this person here, and it'll say, you click on their name, and it'll say you can go to the SEC website and see who they are. Now, the next part is part 2, okay? Part 2 is 2A and 2B. 2A is my dog's starting to bark because of yours. So 2A is a disclosure doc for the firm. So 2A is a disclosure doc for the firm. Okay? That lists like how we manage the money, how we get paid, what we do, stuff like that. If we have any adverse relationships, if we have any conflicts, if we have any adverse judgments or anything, all that's on there. Okay? That's 2A. 2B, shut up. 2B or not 2B. 2B is all the disclosures for the individual or your team. Okay. So part 2A is for the firm. 2B is for the individual. Now they have a wrap fee part that you put on that. I forgot what it is. I think it's appendix. So, by the way, part 2B. Okay. Part 2B is part 2B is what I was going to say. There is also known as a brochure supplement. When do you have to give the brochure to the customer? You have to give it to them at or prior to signing the contract. However, if it is a state advisor, they would like you to give it to them 48 hours ahead of time. And if you don't, the customer gets 5 days to back out of it. That's a lot of the brochure stuff. If there's a material change, you have to do it promptly after the change. If there is a non-material change, you have to do it within 90 days at the end of the year. And any kind of updating, any financials that the IA has to do, it's at the end, it's within 90 days at the end of the year to the regulator and 120 from the end of the year to the customer. That's federal or state. There we go. Hope that helped a little bit. Okay, that we have a thing for. Hold on. Everyone who's taken the test, you may find it. Okay. We're going to do this. Here we go. Everyone, take a picture of this fucking thing. I have a video on it. How does it look on this? You can read it. Okay, yeah, okay. Let me take off the chat part so you can read the bottom.
See the square.
See the square?
Yeah.
So there we go. So it was being recorded, so watch it again. This is big, okay? Captain Scummy, I do a video on this. It's on my crash course and my videos. My 63 and 66 playlist. It's in there. I explain the whole thing. It's going to help you a ton, even though I spelled some shit wrong, but whatever it is what it is. Okay. Boom. That's going to help you. Okay. Okay, here we go. What? You sound like Jerry Seinfeld. What's the deal with notice filing and coordination? Okay. Oh, I like this. This one I like. I like this setup, Jeff. How about that? Hold on. Here's a good one. Ready? How about that?
You like me in the corner?
Yeah, there you go. Nobody puts Jeffy in the corner. Okay, here we go. Now, there's 3 levels, and I have a video on this, which will help you a ton. There are 3. So if I am going to register in one state only, one state, I do qualification. I'm registering with the administrator. They take as long as they fucking want, and you're not effective until the administrator says it is, and you're subject to their rules. That's all your shit is in one state. However, if you have even one investor from a new state, a second state, now the federal government comes involved. And let me explain why. So, Jeff, what can you do in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut that you can't do in a lot of other states? And it smells horrible sometimes.
Buy weed.
Smoke weed, right? Okay.
Yep.
So in those 3 states, you can smoke weed. Boom. And if you leave New York, what are the only 2 states you can go to? Driving out of Long Island, what are the only 2 states you can really go to?
New Jersey or Connecticut.
Right. All of them, both sides of the border, you can smoke weed on both sides. But if you cry, and that means the federal government, you can sit there and puff away, have a fucking 8-foot bong, and the FBI, DEA can't do shit to you. Okay. Now, don't have more than an ounce, but here's the thing. So you get, but here's the thing. So if you drive from New York to Connecticut or Connecticut to Jersey or Jersey to whatever, you cannot cross the state line with the weed, because once you do, you're subject to federal law. There's a reason I'm saying this. I'm not just talking about weed, okay? And I love the fact, and I wish I had taken a picture of it. When you drive from Route 84 out of Connecticut, it goes like this: do not leave with your weed. It was a big billboard. They took it down because if you cross the state line, you are subject to federal laws. So now let's equate it back to where I'm talking about. Okay, now, if you are selling all your shares in one state, SEC has no jurisdiction other than fraud. Okay. Now, if you sell it to even one person in another state, the SEC has jurisdiction and you have to do coordination. So you're going to register with the SEC and the state, both the SEC and the state at the same time. You will register. That's the 20-day review. You file the registration statement. 20 days later, you're effective, hopefully. Now, during that time, you can register, you can send out get IOIs, you can do due diligence, you can send out a preliminary prospectus, and you can blue sky the issue, which is registering in the states. As long as you registered in the states 10 days before the effective date, the state has to go along with the SEC. So again, one state qualification, multiple states, and not on an exchange or anything, is coordination. Now, let's say you're federally covered, which is only 2 of them. Mutual funds and Reg D. Mutual funds and Reg D, they don't have to register in the state, but they may have to notice file if the state requires it. And that's literally just saying, hey, here's my paperwork. Look at it. You can't say no unless it's fraud. But yeah, we're in there. So really, it's just really letting you do business in the state. Estoy de acuerdo. Okay, good. Okay. I'm reading the Spanish behind me. I got to start learning Spanish because I got to go down to Panama again. Okay. Although my new glasses translate for me. It's very cool. Okay, Seth. Well, here's the thing. This is my big thing. It's not 100% true, but it's mostly true. If pretty much an IA can almost do anything they want, as long as it's somewhat ethical, as with disclosure. They can't do anything. You can't rip them off, but there's a lot of things. Like if you have a conflict of interest, totally fine, disclose it. Make sure you don't fuck your customer over, but that. Dual compensation, yeah, that's fine, as long as you work for the same firm or the same parent. So like Jeff and I worked for a firm, but we also worked for a second firm at the same time. They were owned by the same company. Those are associated broker-dealers, IAs. We can share commissions between them, okay? That works. Profit sharing. Okay, agents can share in the gains and losses of an account as a joint account with permission from everyone, blah, blah, blah. IARs cannot, but they can do performance-based fees, okay? I love it that I know most of the words that are popping up. Now, if it's so they can do performance-based fees if the customer is qualified. Now, I don't think they're going to test this, but they did up the qualified client used to be 1.1 and 2.2. They did up it like a couple weeks ago. So it's now 2.7 and 2.7 net worth and 1.4 AUM. I don't think they're testing on it because I think they don't like changing questions. So most of the questions are just, if they're a qualified client, can you do performance-based fees? And yes, but if they ask a question, it should be 2.7 net worth or 1.4 AUM with you. Okay. And advertising, just remember the big one is state advisors and IARs cannot do testimonials. Federal covered IAs can. If somebody posts on a third-party website and says how great you are, Seth, as long as you don't touch it, you're fine. If you actually if you retweet it, embed it, whatever it is, refer to it, that's called adoption, and it has to meet your communications guideline. If you somehow told the person what to write, that's called entanglement. And technically, if you didn't tell anyone and you hit it, that's a violation. If you send anything out to more than one person, that's considered advertising. And if it's a non-exempt security, you might have to register. You might have to file it with the state. Boom. Okay. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Okay, you're good. Now, I don't know. I don't think Kaplan is close to this test at all. But it's a good correlation that if you're in the 80s, you know enough to pass. Mirror, mirror, go do my cute dog though. Go do my brutal exams and see how you are. They're called the 65, 66 brutal or just 66. There's 2 of them. I did them both like last fall. They're really good videos. If you do well on those, one, you'll do better on the test because I promise you, there is no other vendor out there that has questions. No one, no matter what anyone says, that is not closer to the exam than my brutal exams for the 7 and the 66. I promise you that. Okay. Okay, Seth, this is my line. Stay away from crazy. Stay away from crazy. This is what I say. So the big thing is I don't go exceptions unless they throw it at me. I will always think what's normal, what's the normal rule. If they bring up an exception, then I'll go there. Other than that, I do not go there. That's my line. Stay away from crazy. Stay in the margins unless they pull you outside. So I don't know if that helps a lot, but don't think of exceptions, okay? Do not think of exceptions, okay? Now, on that note, what you just said, okay? Exempt securities and exempt transactions have nothing to do with your registration 90% of the time, right? The only time it does is if you work for the issuer. So if you work for the issuer and it's an exempt security or an exempt transaction, you don't have to register. Yeah, the vendors try to go into this. There's only 6 you have to worry about. Don't worry about it. I've never seen a question where they made me remember the fucking 6. So if you work for an exempt issuer, you don't have to register as long as you're not getting commission and stuff like that. Okay. And again, the BD, if you work for BD, my line is as an agent, pretty much always have to register. There are exceptions, but you have to first. Okay. Okay, the state can't fucking enforce anything other than in fraud. So a federal covered advisor is up here. The state is down here. The only thing they can enforce is fraud. And a federal covered advisor, remember, a federal covered advisor will never, ever, 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 ever register on the state level unless their AUM goes under a certain number, and then they have to at some point. Okay. Why would you wait long? Why would you wait that long? There's 2 places you can go. You can go to Boston Institute of Finance, which I may have a link for on my thing. Not yet, though. Or go to Danko. Brett Danko is great stuff. You can get it done in 6 months, baby. John Lopez, why fucking wait? Yeah, let's ruin your summer. You can probably get this done in 6 months. Imagine getting it. Brett Danko does it. I think another one is Kaplan Schweizer. I think, that's a CFA. I forgot the other one. There's one that a lot of people use, but I like Brett Danko a lot. He talks like me a little bit. He's a normal guy, and all his teachers are pretty normal, and they can get you done in 6 months. But it's not fucking cheap. But if you have a 529, you can use it for that. Okay. Billy, I hope you're not on here. I'm not going to do this because this is on the 7 and not the 65, 66. But I will say almost all of them have prepayment risk. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Gustavo, yes, that's right. An agent is any individual who represents a BD. Yeah, remember, so here's the deal. Now, I know you typed the big issue. Here's the deal. if you're an agent, if you're trying to affect transactions, you're an agent. You're either an agent of the broker dealer or agent of the issuer. Here's the thing: if the issuer is an exempt issuer, or you're doing exempt transactions for the issuer, you're not considered an agent. That's the exception. This is what you just said was a rule. The other one is an exception, and this is what you said. Okay. Remember, if this is the key, like you said, if they represented an issuer, okay, it's not contradictory. If I work for an issuer or a broker dealer and I'm selling securities, I'm an agent. However, if I work for the issuer and it's an exempt transaction or exempt security, I'm not an agent. They exempt me for that. As long as I don't get commissions. Okay. Boom. I kind of did that a little bit. It's not that heavy. Hannah, it's not that big. Okay. Okay. Oh, there you go. I like that. Yeah, it's fucking good, baby. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So average. So if I give you, here's what that is. Remember something. If I use third-party research to give you advice, I don't have to tell you shit, Eric. I don't have to say shit. Just here's the advice. I can keep my sources private. However, if I give you the research, I have to say that it's not mine. I can't pretend someone else's research is mine. So if I get the Gartman letter, right? I don't know if that's around anymore. If I get the Gartman letter and I give it to you and I pretend I white label and put my name on it, that's a problem. If I give it to you and say, oh, by the way, it's not mine, you're good to go. Okay. Mike LaRosa, yeah, that's funny. Say a prayer for me. You're going to get it, okay? But I'm telling you right now, you're going to get it, okay? Okay. Let me do one thing. Jeff, can you do one quick thing before I do the insurance? Can you just scroll through, see if anyone passed the exam before I do anything? I'm going to start on the insurance stuff, but it's going to take a while. I want to make sure nobody sits there. I don't think we have a lot left. We're going to be out here early, baby.
Could you go over there to insurance? Thanks for the help. I'll watch those videos. Thoughts. Sorry for all the.
Yep. Okay, we're good. Okay. So this one should take a few minutes. Okay. So what is it? So first of all, let's start with the first thing. Insurance pays when you die. Annuities pay until you die. Remember that. Insurance pays when you die. Insurance pays when you die, not you, your family, because you're dead. Annuity pays until you die. There we go. Now, the first thing we have is term life insurance. Term life insurance is like renting insurance. Now, insurance, again, so Agamora, okay, you buy insurance for other people because you're going to be dead. You're not getting the money. So what happens is if you buy $1 million worth of term life insurance, okay? Now, if you buy $1 million worth of life insurance in a term policy, it will last as long as the policy. So if you buy a 5-year policy, 10, 20, 30, I don't think they'll do more than 20 or 25. So, but anyway, you can buy a term policy and you'll be insured as long as you make the payments every month, you'll be paid. You can do by the year, but you can do by the month, okay? So every year you can make payments, every month you make payments, and they will keep you insured. So if you die during the period, you will get, your family will get paid. You won't get shit because you'll be dead. Now, on that note, remember, here's the big thing. There's no what they call cash value. So as you it's like renting. Like if you rent an apartment and you stay there for 3 years and you leave after 3 years, you leave with nothing but your furniture. So there's no equity, no nothing. As opposed to buying a house, when you put money in, you'll build equity. Same thing with term versus whole. Term insurance, you are buying it's called pure insurance. You're buying insurance just for that. Now, the reason people do it is because it's cheaper. Now, the problem is, so let's say Jeff, he's a nice young man. He's 30 years old, and he buys a 10-year term. Say it's going to be $200 a month for a couple $1 million worth of insurance, right?
Actually, what's funny is I actually did that when I was 30.
Did you?
I bought a 10-year term policy.
Did you really? Look at that. Yeah. Very smart. Okay. Now,
well, so past that.
So my mom, that's fine. Now it's gone. So my mom, I was 12 when my dad died. So my mom bought 20-year term. So this way, if she died before we hit age, we would get a couple $1 million and we go snort it up our nose or something. So the point was, if she died during those 30 years, we would get paid. That's term. But after the 20 years, done. No more insurance, no nothing. At any point during that time, she could have in the first 2 years, she could have turned into a whole, but again, a lot more expensive. Okay, so now the next part of this was if you have a 10, so Jay Jeff's 30, he does a 10-year term. They usually let you automatically renew after the period without having to do a new physical. You don't have to say insurable, which means don't gain 500 pounds and start smoking, but they will let you re-up. But since he'll be 40 at the time, it'll be a higher rate. So they will charge you a higher rate because you're older. Now, let's talk about term versus whole a little bit. Now understand, if you guys sell insurance, you guys are going to be mad that I explain it because I'm simplifying it, because sometimes you need to simplify to make people understand. Okay, so you have term insurance. Now, everyone remember, we're buying insurance for $1 million policy. Okay, so in term, let's say it's $200 a month, but now let's say whole. If I could spell, and I'll bring it up on the board in a second. I just got to write it down so it's somewhat legible. Let's say it'll be $700 a month. So that'd be $200 going to the insurance, $5 going to the cash. Okay, so that's going to be, here we go. So here's what happens. So if I buy term insurance, right? Again, simplifying it. If you're an insurance guy and you fucking come at me because it's not perfect, go fuck yourself. Okay, this is more about teaching it. Okay, I love you guys. Just fuck yourself. Now, term insurance. Let's say I buy $1 million policy, costs me $200 a month. Boom, that's what it is. If I make the payments every month, I'm good to go. I pay $200 a month. I build no cash value at all. At the end of 2 years or 10 years, I spent $24,000, zero coming out of it. So that's why a lot of times people turn, like my insurance guy is trying to make me turn it into whole real soon. I'm like, I'm fucking old, okay? It's going to be really expensive. So now, this is permanent insurance, but I'm going to go with whole first. Permanent insurance means you have a rapido. Whole life, universal, permanent, variable, all last until you die. As long as you make the payments, you're good to go. Okay, now, what's going to happen is there's the cost of insurance. That $200 is what it costs to insure you. The extra $500 you put in goes into your cash value, builds equity. So again, after a year of paying this, 5 times 12, you'll pay $200 to insurance, and you'll have what, 5 times 12? That'll be $6,000. So after 1 year, you'll have $6,000 in your equity, your cash value, whatever it is. So you're building that every year. It goes into a pocket and it builds. So after 10 years, it's $60,000, all that shit. But remember, it's invested, sort of. So it'll grow. But right now, we're just saying you put in $500 a month. That's why your policy is $700 a month. It's a lot more expensive than that. But this is better to do in a way. Now, if you talk to investment people, they go, no, don't do this. Instead, do this and take the 500 and dump it in the S&P 500. Now, I get that. In a perfect world, that works. Instead of putting instead of putting 700 into a life insurance policy, put the 200 in and then put the extra 500 into an S&P ETF by the VU, whatever it is. Here's the problem. If you do an insurance policy, that's a bill you got to pay every month, and you will pay it. If you do the other way and you're not super fucking strict about it, right? You may go, oh, I have a bad month this month, and not put the 500 in. And then next thing you know, 6 years later, you haven't put anything in because it just goes fast like that. So that's the problem with doing that, because human nature comes in and says that you may not put it in. You may forget. So that's the beginning of it. We're going to go more. We're going to go heavy, baby. Now, that's the difference between term and whole. I hope that helps a little bit. Now, there are 3 types of permanent. There's whole, universal, and then variable. Okay. Whole, universal, and variable. And again, it's crap. Now, whole on life insurance, the premium you pay every month is set, and the cash value grows at a fixed rate no matter what. No matter what it is, it grows at a fixed rate, and the premium is set. No way around that. You okay with that? Good stuff. Second, universal, you get to adjust your premiums. If you want to pay, they say your premiums are $24,000 a year, okay? And you can only pay, and you, like me, like when I first started, I was busy from like February till the end of November, and then Christmas time, I was doubting my life choices, okay? Then, now I'm busy year round. But before that, I could afford a lot more things from February till November, just the way it is, okay? So if I had a $24,000 payment, instead of paying $2,000 a month, I would pay $8,000. I would pay $3,000 a month for 8 months, and then nothing for the other 4. I can do that. I can pay all of it up front. I can pay a grand, and then put a lump sum. Universal allows you to adjust the payments. You can actually underpay it or overpay it. If you underpay it, like say I'm supposed to pay 24 and I pay 20 at the end of the year, what's going to happen is they will, what's the best way to do it? If I pay under the 24 grand, I pay 20 at the end of the year, they go, okay, that's fine. We're going to adjust your death benefit down. Remember, death benefit is what you get when you die. You don't get shit because you're dead, but your family will get $2 million, $3 million when you die, or whatever it is. Okay. Now, if I pay 20 grand, they go, oh, it was 3, now it's 2.8. They'll adjust it down. However, you can overpay it. You can put in 30 grand a year. Okay. You can put 30 grand a year in, and they will up your death benefit. So you have adjustable death benefit. But again, the growth is growing at a fixed rate, just like the whole. Now, variable has a fixed payment. It's like $800 to $700 a month, but your money is invested in a sub account or a variable account, sub or a separate account. That money is invested in the market. You can actually affect how aggressive they trade, how aggressive they invest it. Okay. Now, so again, whole, fixed premium, fixed growth. Universal, flexible premium, fixed growth. Variable, fixed premium, flexible growth. Since variable has market risk, because the market can go down every year, you get it's considered a security. On top of that, even if the market goes down 10% every year while you hold it, you may not have any cash value, but your death benefit will never go below $1 million. So if you buy $1 million policy, no matter what happens to your cash value, even if it goes zero, negative, you're still good. If you die, your family get $1 million. That is insurance. I hope that helps. Okay. Okay. No, Seth. No. The vacation rule. No. So if you're on vacation or your client goes on vacation, you're good to go. You can do work with them as long as you don't get new clients. You can't solicit new clients in a state you're not registered in. So if your client goes down to Florida for a little bit, okay. If you are
do you like Sophie Cunningham?
Yes, I like Sophie Cunningham. So now, okay.
She's good, right?
She's a badass. Okay.
I had to throw that in there.
I know, I like that. Okay. So now, where was I? So now if a client goes to Butterfly, how are you, baby? Okay, so now if a client goes to another state, you can still work with them, okay, as long as they you can't get any new clients. That's it. You can't solicit new clients. Okay. I like that. Okay, hold on. Now, let's move on. Okay, Butterfly, baby. Just relax. Tomorrow's a nice day for you. Okay. Okay. Agamora, I love it. Good stuff. Okay, now. Okay, let me get this. What the fuck? I can't type for shit. You know, it's funny. One of my tutors who's on here called me at 7:58. Okay. It's like, don't you know? My family knows not to do that. Okay. Yeah, so if you're in California, so yeah, Seth, 100%. You can, if you have a client on vacation in Arizona, you don't have to do shit. Now go back to this. If you are sharing commissions, you usually don't have to do that. Okay. You have to told what you're paying, but Jolene, I don't think you have to tell. I don't think, and I'm pretty sure. Okay. I don't think that you have to tell them unless there's a conflict of interest. I don't know why there would be, but again, you can share commissions as long as under the same broker dealer. I don't think you have to tell them, but you have to tell them what the commission is going to be. Okay. Yes, I keep seeing this. Okay, now, here's the big one. Yeah, all right. So I've seen this a lot, and nobody can remember what it was. That's a great question. You cannot, as far as you can write investment advisor rep. You can write registered investment advisor. You cannot use RIA or IAR. You cannot use either IAR or RIA as initials. Everyone said that wasn't one of the choices, but I knew it was. They just couldn't remember. Kind of though witnesses, nobody can ever remember anything. So RIA are not allowed. RIA as an initial is not allowed because it makes it look like it's a certification when it really isn't. Same thing with an IAR. CFP, COU, MBA you can do. CRCP, I think you can do. There's a couple others, but definitely not RIA or IAR. Okay.
You ever see the business cards where they list all of their professional designations and it's like bigger than like
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. One quick thing. AB, baby. Motherfucker, awesome. Let's fucking go.
Oh wow, look at that.
Let me see if I can get.
This was on Tuesday night, right?
Yes. Hold on. I gotta find this. Hold on. I have one that I thought I just uploaded. Let's see if it's here. I thought I did. Damn.
Do you have a video of how to pass the exam in 48 hours?
No. Oh, I know. I have a last. Hold on. Ready? Boom, baby. I love it. That's awesome. Okay. Okay. One quick thing. Okay. Boom. I love it. Now, by the way, any surprises, AB? I'm taking so many that okay. Okay. So here's the thing. Bobby Dudek. Okay. Bobby Buffet. Now, is it Bobby Buffet? I think it is. Right? Okay. So now, okay. You got to get those up. You got to get the STCs up. Now, remember, I don't care about your average. I care about what you're doing lately. Because look, if you go 62, 68, 75, 77, your average is 68. That's not really your left. So what have you done on your latest exams? Okay. Fine. If you've done 80 on the baseline, that means you know enough to pass. Go do my brutals. I just did another brutal the other day. Go do that one and get that on there. Okay.
So wait, hang on a second with this one. So the 80, and I think this applies for, whether it's the 7, FINRA or NASAA exams.
Yep.
So when they say the baseline, is that like the final green light?
No, I have a video where I take an exam online.
Okay.
And that one is specifically, okay. That one is specifically, it's like, if you can't pass that, move the test.
So here's my thing, because he says he's scoring on 68. He's taken him so many times he's remembering questions. Here's what I would say, being 7-8 days out from taking the exam. I think you really should slow down a little bit, take an exam, take it straight through, take it with the answers off, take it in silence, in a room where your phone's somewhere else and you're not going to get distracted.
Yep,
take it straight through, see how you do, but read the questions slowly, read the explanations. And if the question looks familiar, if the answers look familiar, figure out why the other 3 answers are wrong. And if you can do that, and then when you review it, your thought process is the same as theirs, then I would say you're in good shape. Otherwise, you're running the risk of just memorization. And if you were saying you're memorizing and you're in the 80s, that's one thing. You're at a critical point. So I think you still have enough time to tighten this up and get to where you need to be. If you're getting in the mid to high 60s, that's pretty hard to do without having knowledge of the material. But I think now you have to satisfy your own curiosity and figure out, do I really understand everything they're asking?
Okay.
Just my 2 cents.
Good. Okay.
That's what I would do.
I agree. I'm with you, baby. I'm not even touching it. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to get to this one. Ryan, I'll get you in 1 second. Okay. No, that is not the answer. Okay. SIPC, max coverage for SIPC, Ethan, is $500,000, of which $250 can be cash. So if you have all stock, $500,000 is covered. You have $600,000, no. If you have margin, they only cover the equity. Okay. So basically, if we have $500,000 in stock and you have 300 grand in cash, they'll only cover 250 of it. If you have 500 grand, if you have 500 grand in your account, let me say, if you have 500 in the account and 400 is stock, they'll cover the 400 and then 100 in cash. Okay. 500 total, 250 can be cash. Now, FDIC, which they could ask, is 250 no matter what for banking shit. Okay. 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 James, stay on here. Hope you're still here. It's only about 15 minutes behind. Okay. I didn't think we were going to make it to 8:30. Okay. Although I did do a long one on insurance. That helped. Okay. AMT. This is what you need to know for AMT. AMT is for like if there's what they call, if you're getting like excessive deduction. So if you have a DPP or a muni bond that's in just a development bond or private activity or certain revenue bonds, you might have to pay AMT. All you need to know is that if someone is subject to AMT, you don't put them in something that is also subject to AMT. AMT, what they do is they take away your deductions. So if you're going to get 50 grand in interest payments from a revenue bond and you make too much money, they may go, oh, you only get to deduct 20 of it. You have to pay tax on the 30. So AMT just takes away your deductions, and it's for people who have a lot of money, and it's really only for revenues, certain revenues, IDRs, private activity, certain stuff like that, not GOs or public purpose, and for DPPs that have excessive deductions or excessive reductions. Okay. Okay. Oh, you know what? I think I answered that question for him. Hold on. Let's see. Let's go, baby. James Dawes, the Rambling Series 7 God. I like that. The Series 7 ADD here. Okay, good. Let's get it, baby. Go through my brutal exams. You're going to rock it. Okay. Okay. Yes, there is a mix of the two. Okay. Antonio, there you go. Yeah, I don't follow. Look, I don't really follow Dave Ramsey. I mean, I think my wife looks at him sometimes. My daughter does. He's cool to listen to. I don't listen to him because I think he's anti-debt, right? I think he's very anti-debt, if I remember right, which is fine in general. But there's a way to use debt that's good for you. Okay. So there are times like I have a mortgage. I pay like literally dirt cheap mortgage. Okay. Like my mortgage is unbelievably low on one of the places. Right. Okay. So what happens is I was thinking about, should I pay it off? And then I'm like, wait a second. The current interest rates are 6. I could earn more. I'm paying a ridiculous low rate, almost negative. Okay. So what happens is, if I pay it off, I'm losing money. So instead of paying it off, I take that money and put it into the market and hopefully earn. I don't even have to earn a lot. I can put it on. I don't believe in them, but I could put it in a high yield savings account and just leave it there, make 5%, right? I could do that and I make more. I make more than I'm losing than I'm paying in the mortgage. That's fine. Okay. But there is a way to use debt. But again, holding money in credit cards is moronic. Right? You have to do it sometimes, but you don't want to hold it. So using debt sometimes is good. I think he's like militantly anti-debt. And I understand why, because he's talking to a lot of fucking idiots. So idiots use debt because, I'm gonna borrow money without thinking. Okay. I'm not giving this, none of this is investment advice, right? Okay, good. Okay. Okay. Okay, go watch my 66 Power Hour. That's the one. Watch my 66 Power Hour. I have old crash list, but the Power Hour, there's 2 of them, but the one I just did, I think it says 2026 on, is probably going to be the best for you. I did it last September. It's from feedback from the exam. Okay. Why would it? Oh, so it's whatever. It's the office. It should be A. Now it depends. Remember something. If it is a federal covered advisor, they don't register anywhere. If it's a state advisor, they register to have an office. I don't know what they're saying. Okay. So again, Samantha, if it's a federal covered advisor, they don't fucking register. They register federally, not state. So it doesn't matter anywhere. If they're only doing insurance companies, they might not have to register, but because they have an office, if it's a state advisor, the insurance company stuff is institutional. They wouldn't have to register. But they have an office, so they have to register an A only. Hope that helps. Okay. Oh, stay there, Josh. I got a good one for you, I think. Somebody emailed me. She said when she passes, she gave me a link of what video she wants on there. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Look, I think here's the thing. I don't love past perfect. I don't love Kaplan. I don't love past perfect. I like achievable. I like SDC. I like Securities Institute. Okay. Kaplan's great in a way, meaning that if you pass their exams, if you're getting mid 70s on their shit, you're going to pass. Literally, you could probably be high 60s or 70s and still pass. Okay. Oh, boom. I love it. That's the thing. The brute, I'm telling you right now, I can't stress this enough, and that's awesome. And I'm going to play a song. I can't stress this enough that if you take the brutal exam, it will give you a better feel for the exam than anyone else. Ready, Josh? There's a new one. Let's hope it works. Damn. I got to give it. Fuck. That was such a good one. I have to redo it. I'll find a good one. Here we go.
Tell the 7 seas. Yes, you can put your mind at ease. Come on, people, and take a stand.
Boom, baby. Okay.
That's old.
I know. And he just died like 2 weeks ago, a month ago.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Okay. What's amazing is that the song YMCA and Village People were getting a big push like 3 months ago. I don't know what the fuck happened. Almost like they knew. Like almost like give him a little like it was very Macho Man was coming out. All this shit was being replayed a lot on TikTok and Instagram, like before he died. So maybe they knew he was sick. I don't fucking know, but it's kind of interesting. Okay. Robbie and Anthony, stay there. I will get to you. Where are we gonna go? Let's see which one will get me blocked. Okay. Baby, I love it. Awesome.
I saw him in concert.
Who? Did you really?
That was Johnny.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Where? In Long Island?
No, this was 100 years ago.
Oh, okay. What made you go? You were dating and you just had to make it look like you had class?
No, it was.
The only reason I ever go to that is if I was trying to press a girl.
No, my parents had. I mean, this was like I was really much younger.
Okay,
like it was fun.
Yeah, no. Look, some of them are good. Like, yeah, I get it. Like
there were some people like tripping in the aisles.
Really.
Yeah, I mean, like it was.
It's like a little Grateful Dead classics.
Yeah, it kind of.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay. Oh, yeah, Anthony. This is right up Jeff's alley. But yes, I believe if you don't have a job yet, get in the SIE. And if you don't have a job yet, SIE then 65 or 66 is the way to go. See, look, if you're going to go the broker-dealer wealth management route, SIE 66. If you want to go the RIA route, which is Jeff's favorite way, then you do the 65.
It's taking the SIE and then figuring out, well, if you take the 65, you don't need the SIE. Correct?
What?
If you take the 65,
you don't need the SIE.
Don't need the SIE.
Yep.
Before people take any of these exams, I really think you need to examine what your career goal is. If your career goal is to work at one of the large brokerage firms on the street or one of the banks, global banks, then yes, the SIE, the 7, the 66, 63, yes, it's all part of it. But if you're looking to just be an investment advisor and go that route, you can accomplish that with the 65. So It's really, are you looking to be a trader on a desk? Are you looking to be an analyst? Are you looking to be an investment banker? All things like that. It really depends on what your career goals are. So give that a lot of thought because remember, and Ken, you will vouch for this. It doesn't matter how many of these exams you pass. That's not going to determine how much money you make or the success of your career.
Nope.
And in fact, in some cases, you could get the Series 24, be a principal, and have tremendous liability on your head.
Got it. Good. That's funny. Okay. Oh, okay, Eric, that's a good question. I'll find that. Okay. Hold on. Let me get back to somebody. Okay, I handled that when we got that. Bobby Buffet. That's good. Okay.
Bobby Buffet.
So no, it's like Agamorora. No, you remember that's everyone does it. They go, well, it was 130 questions. No, you don't do that. Whenever you do a test, you score it out of what you took, not what it should be. You don't go, I only got 12 wrong because it was it. No. It's if you take 25, you score it out of 25. If you take 1,000,000, take a score out of 1,000,000. Okay. Let me see if I can find the brutals for you. It's in the practices and playlist. Okay. So we go to the playlist. Then we roll down to practice exams, free practice exams. Click on that. Scroll to the bottom. And one says Series 666 Brutal. It says questions that will destroy your score. Okay. Here we go. There's one. There's one. These are for the 65, 66, not the 7. The 7 ones are in their own playlist called Brutal Exams. And then where's the other one? And here's the other one. Do both of them. They're going to help you a ton. And I think the first one is 140 questions. Okay. There you go. So Eric, that should help you a little bit. Okay. Oh, look at him. Jeff. This is the person you give the advice to. Okay.
Yeah. So 40 is a very interesting age. You have business experience. You've worked before. It sounds like you're probably making a career change. So, figure out what your goal is in wanting to move forward, and it's also a financial and time consideration because, you can get a job being a financial advisor at a large firm and get a base salary. But then there's going to be goals associated with that salary. They're not giving anything away for free. If you're looking to start up, depending on your financial situation, if you're looking to start up your own firm, if you're joining an existing firm, that's an RIA, the 65 could be the way to go. But if you're joining a broker dealer, and there can also be an RIA arm of the firm, then you're going to need your 7 and, this, 63, 65 or 66. But, figure it out because, like I said, the idea is you don't need to take, you don't need to take the SIE 7, 63, 66 to just be an RIA and get a 65. Don't make it about taking all the exams. Figure it out based on your career of what you're looking
I'm with you, baby.
Yeah. Okay. The reason I know that is because when I started, I wanted to get as many of those exams under my belt so I could list them on my resume and impress the world. And you know what? Doesn't mean anything.
The only time a lot of exams helps is if you're in compliance. That's it. Yeah, as an advisor, who the fuck cares? Get the 766 or 7 or just 65, and then you're done.
There are so many people that I've seen SIE 7, 63, 66. Then they get their CFP and their CFA.
The CFP is more important than those, yeah.
Yeah, but then they get it and they're like, they've got $10 million in management. They're not making any money.
I know.
There's so many other factors
to get it. I know.
This is just the first step of a much bigger journey.
I agree. Okay. Okay. Again, tonight's not that night, but they're not that heavy on the test. If you understand the basics, I have a video where I go through the options like the box. That's right. Again, Alita. So the SIE, the options is not the biggest part of the test. Really, maybe 2 questions and mostly basic, like can you get a break even or something like that, or what they do. I have a video where I go over in the options basics. Find it where I do an options box. You go from there and you'll be fine. Okay. Oh man, listen, if you did that well, Agamorora, you're fine. Okay. So you're taking the 24 on 8-1. Okay. Hopefully you're using STC. I don't think Achievable does the 24. What vendor are you using for the 20? I'd rather talk to you more on Tuesday, but since you're taking it soon after, when I'm in the city in 2 weeks for like 3 weeks straight teaching those analyst classes. What vendor? I hope you're using STC. If not, it's fine. But Notman or STC. The STC is the best for the principal stuff. Notman's a strong second. The rest of them are just not good. Although I do have Security Institute of America on the link. He has some good stuff too.
You know, it's funny.
What you want me to click on Anthony?
No. When I actually thought the 24 was easier to take, not easier to study, easier to take than the 66.
Yeah. I agree.
You understand what I'm saying?
100%.
It was more logical.
I'm not trying to scare anyone, but it's like the 66 is very much always using STC is very much a cerebral kind of like looking at it from a different angle. Do you remember how I got our boss to pass the 24? What I told him, I literally said it to him. I said, everything you think you should do the opposite. And
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's a career. Anthony's. Oh yeah. Now here's the one thing. Here's one thing, and I don't know how true it is, but if you go, there's a subreddit for finance. If you start as a teller, it's very hard to move out of that range. Like, yes, a job is a job. It's easier to, but they're saying that you got to work your ass off. Like if you start as a teller at a bank, you need to move yourself into somewhere in that bank, then to look outside. Because it seems like once you have a teller, you have a fucking scarlet letter on you until you move into the personal banker or something like that. Then you can start moving. So be careful. I'm not saying not to take the jobs. The jobs are great to start with, but it's kind of it's not the best way to start. Like you might hamper yourself for a couple of years.
You might also want to go in as an assistant.
Assistant manager?
No,
for an FA.
For an FA.
That's the way, man.
I think it'll probably pay more, and either you might be able to build your book on the side, or if you bring in business, they might give you a cut of it when you get your 7 and things like that. But it might be a better route to go. Don't underestimate, working at a firm, either in operations or back office, just to get your feet wet. You'll probably make more money and have time to take the exams, and then figure out from there where your niche is going to be.
I'm with you.
They're always looking for people like that.
Yeah, they want grunts. They want people to do the work for them. Like you got IAs who have like 800, like 300 clients. They can't service them, so they get somebody they bring in, and you do the grunt work, handle their pain in the ass customers.
You'd be surprised how many people are looking for somebody who has a personality who knows how to answer a phone.
Yeah,
it's shocking.
There's a major age gap somewhere, and it's like a lot of old, and there's not a lot of people younger. And so, any of you there's a big difference between making phone calls. Remember something: if you come in as an assistant for an FA, they don't want you cold calling new people. So that's I hate that. I could never do that. It hurt me, but I could never do it. That's why I went institutional trading. I think Jeff, you have no problem getting on the phone with people, right?
No, I've been doing it for 30 years.
I know. I can't do it.
I mean, I started off.
I break into cold sweats.
No, I used to, but not anymore. I started off. I told you when I was like 23, I was making 300 cold calls a day. 90 people would answer the phone. Out of the 90. I would get 1 to 3 leads that people that would be able to buy a tax-free bond.
Right.
So I was cold calling for muni bonds in the next 3 to 6 months.
Right.
And I did that every single day, and then but that's just one thing, and that doesn't really exist anymore.
Right.
But people value talking to. There are certain people who don't want to talk to anybody.
Right.
Those people are going to like the automated systems, like the Schwabs and the
They're
Fidelities.
AI is
But-
going to get rid of AI and all that shit. Yeah.
Right, but the people that want financial advice that are coming in, like nobody's just going to have never invested before and bring in 7 figures. They're going to want that advice,
Right.
and they value talking to somebody on the phone rather than getting an automated machine.
Right.
Believe it or not, there are a lot of people. You know, when you walk into like a Schwab or a Fidelity now, and you walk in with $5 million, that used to be ultra high net worth.
Yeah.
It's not anymore.
I know.
So, like, if
You
you're
remember
in a
Goldman
small-
10 years ago, everyone under 5 million they just got rid of, and then they made a
Yes.
mistake. But if you had less than 5 million, they didn't want you even at the firm.
remember, 5 million at 1% is 50 grand.
Right.
You get a couple of those clients, you've got a book of business.
Yeah.
But people, I'm telling you, people value calling somewhere and getting the person they need on the phone on the first ring.
I agree.
It's not there anymore, and people that find it incredibly valuable.
Yeah. And like I said, once I'm on the phone, I can talk, but I can never make a phone call. Okay. Lorena, welcome on options. You'll be so happy within an hour. You'll be wish the entire test was options. I promise you that. So anyone taking the 7, definitely get the options membership. It'll help a ton. New York. Okay. I don't think that's really New York skyline. Oh yeah. Oh, the Penguin. That's awesome. STC is the best. That's awesome. Make sure by the way, make sure you go through the Crunch Time Facts and watch the videos. But their Crunch Time Facts are going to help you a ton. Okay. No, they are not the same. Okay. So if you want to see what they look like, the style, I just put if you scroll up a little bit, you should be able to see the videos that I plugged in here. My 2 brutal exams are in my practice exam playlist. They're my 65 and 66 brutal exams for both. That'll give you a style. They don't look like the SIU 7 at all. They don't. The 7 makes you feel like you're failing the whole time. The 65 and 66 actually make you feel better than you're doing. It's weird. Oh, that's all. Look at that. That's awesome. 2 years ago, you did all your shit, and now you're moving up. I'm telling you right now.
That's exactly my point.
Yeah. Yep. Now, the other thing is, look at Mike. Mike LaRose is our guy, right? He worked at LPL. He failed the 7 3 times, passed the 66 the first shot, passed the 7 the 4th time, took the 24, passed that. And the second he passed that, I'm not saying it always happens, but he had a job already. He ended up getting a job in another place. And then that turned into a second one. Now he's at a pretty big fucking bank, doing well. He moved up. He within 1 year, he went from making whatever. I'm not going to say a salary, but his number was good. He bumped up, I think, almost 25 grand a year, which is not nothing. That's a lot. Plus bonuses. Plus he works from remote, and he gets to travel, and they pay for his flights and everything. It's pretty fucking cool. Like I always wanted to be a wholesaler. I always wanted to be a wholesaler.
The mutual fund wholesalers that used to walk in with the bagels in the morning and coffee.
And the steak dinners.
There were some of them back in the day that made a fortune.
No, one of my guys, John, who I helped pass, I think he was one of the biggest ones for it wasn't Northwestern, but it was a big one. It was like Tiger or something like that. He had a golf membership in 15 different places around the country. The company paid for it. How fucking nuts is that?
How long ago was this?
Oh, he started in 2000.
Okay, so it was a long time ago.
No, yeah, but he still had them because once you pay the big fee, you're just paying a fee, right? So he still had them because, like my daughter's country club, I think it's big to get in, but then it's like 10 grand a year.
The ones in the Northeast are very expensive.
No, but to get in.
And the premier ones in Florida are very expensive.
No, to get in, but then once you're in, it's like 10 or 15 grand a year, which is not nothing. No, I'm telling you.
It depends which one you
Well, my daughter's in a fucking really high-end one, and it's 200 grand to get in, and then it's like 15 grand. Yeah, but there's other fees, but really just to do nothing, it's 10 or 15 grand a year, plus assessment.
I understand what you're saying, but the entry fee can be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. To go in, some of them are $500,000. But he also went in 25 years ago.
Somebody just wrote.
Oh, they're funny. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. That's what we're talking about.
Like I was helping this lady at BlackRock, And it was right around the time when the wholesalers were starting to get cut for a little bit. She was going to bring me on as a BlackRock wholesaler. She said you'd be good at it. I didn't even ask her because I'm funny and all that. But
I don't think that was your personality at all.
Why?
To be a wholesaler?
Why not? You mean the external?
Yeah, like you're going to go in at like 8 o'clock for that 8 o'clock in the morning meeting at a brokerage firm and stand up there and present the value of each.
I do it all day long. I literally stand around and do shit all day long. But yeah,
But
I
it's
get
kind
it.
of you're not.
Yeah, but remember something. There's a difference between like one wholesale and BlackRock. I have to think that if you're a big Fidelity, you're not really selling so much. Maybe I'm wrong, but you're in there pitching the value, right? But this is the big thing she said. This is why everyone does it, because they don't actually have a way of determining whether they're buying it because of you or not. So once you show up at an office, everything they buy from that day until the next wholesaler shows up is on your book. So she said, literally, even if they buy a fund that's from BlackRock that you didn't pitch, you get credit for it. Because
yes, that's true.
Because she said there was no way we can track it. So until somebody else shows up, it's all. So if nobody shows up for another quarter, it's yours.
I mean, I gotta imagine now the big.
No, it's not the same.
ETFs,
Even the guy John, he
yeah.
said I used to have half the country. Now I'm south. And he said he's fine. He's 60 years old and he's basically retired. But yeah,
he did his tour.
Yeah, he was making. He has fucking shitload of money. Okay, he's so rich. He's actually a Republican in California. You know what I mean? Okay, now. Okay. Oh yeah, it's interesting, right? So Brazil is interesting, right? So that if you want to do, I forgot there's a whole bunch of rules that if you want to open a broker dealer or somewhere in Brazil, I forgot the rule about it, but you have to hire Brazilian people and you have to spend a certain amount of money and rent and so like they won't let you sell in there without a certain like stuff. Like when was it Dubai? You have to have I think at least 3 citizens on your board or something like that.
I would believe that.
Yeah, but that's a great place. No income tax. Okay. Right. So that's what. Okay, look, get the SIE, and like Jeff said, if you want to start selling shit in the US and doing that, get the SIE, then get the 66 if you're going to do the broker dealer route. Then start looking for sponsorships to get the 7, and then you're done. So, but if you get the 66, if you get the SIE done, which you will, and then you get the 66 done, then at least then they know if they hire you, they know you can pass a hard test. Okay.
You know what I was actually looking up?
What?
How much it costs to open up your own RIA?
Yeah, it's ridiculous, right?
It's not crazy. It's probably less money than any like small business you would possibly open up on your own. Because you could do it right from your house, more or less, or a very small office or something like that. Right. But I was looking at, it's a couple thousand here and a couple thousand for this, and what services you use, the custodian, if they're your compliance people.
Yeah, you have to first to compliance, I think.
But like my point is, if you're looking to really transition into that kind of a career, and you take a couple bucks and you open up, and I'm sure you can negotiate, payments and things with these kind of like, RIAs, and then you're just talking to your friends and like, you're not really pushing the business, but like if you have friends who are just having kids, you want to talk about, opening up a 529 plan, opening up with $500. Don't worry about making the money right there. They'll come back to you for more. Then, or if you're, at a different age and like all your friends are switching jobs, just say, you know what? I switched a couple of jobs. I ended up rolling over my 401k. I learned a lot. I opened up an IRA. I have Roth IRAs for my Roth 401k. I'm well versed in it. Happy to help you. Charge them 20, 30 basis points just for giving them the information. They'll go and do it. They're going to listen to you, and you're not really selling them. It's not a hard sell.
Right.
Anytime you're trying to bring in new clients, it shouldn't be a hard sell. It's a relationship business. That's what it comes down to.
Yep, I agree. Okay. Oh, look at that. So first of all, Oka always. Okay, it's not harder. Okay, it's different. That's the thing. It's just different. That's the problem.
But don't take it any.
Okay, now finish. I cut you off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but don't take it any lighter than the 7. You
I
have
even
to
tell
take-
people don't take the 63 lighter. Act like it's the 7 in your pay.
Oh, you have to. I all the exams I've ever taken, I never said, you know what, I can put in less time here, or I don't need to read the book, or I don't, I can just do a couple practice. I've never done that because it doesn't work.
Good. I love it. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Guys, if hold on. Okay. We're not. Okay. That's interesting.
No, that's true. I understand that because when I was at a particular company, they were the foreign financial advisors that were calling into the desk. They were doing a ton of like commercial paper, agency discount notes, short-term cash. Because remember, they're putting that in secure in dollars.
Right.
That has less fluctuation than the currency of
Right.
that country. And this is also, years ago when there was a lot more instability, I would say.
Right. I agree. It's a stronger country now.
So, but they like that because it's, a lot of these foreign investors have a lot of money.
And they just want to protect it, right?
They want to protect it. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Okay, Ryan. So I'm going to say, if you're not going to get on the IRA, it doesn't hurt. But if you're taking the SA, you're going to bail this thing. If you think you can go to the broker dealer wealth management route, get the 66. If you think you can go to sales and trading or investment banking, get the 63. Because the problem with the 66 is if you go to a place where they can't carry it, you're going to have to take the 63 anyway. Kind of make a decision on where you're going to go. If you want to go the sales and trading, IB, shit like that route, just get the 63. But don't get it right away because it only lasts 2 years. The SIE is good. After sophomore year, the SIE is great because it lasts through college, right? But if you get the 63 or the 66 too early, unless you have a place that'll hold it for you, a sponsor, and again, if you do the 65, they can sponsor it. If they're an IA, they can hold it, right? But at 66, you need the 77 or it's worthless. You need the 7 or it's worthless. So you have to decide, am I going IA route, wealth management route, or am I going sales and trading, IB, stuff like that? Then I would get the 63.
And because you're in college and you're still very young and you're being ultra aggressive by getting the exam now, if you know of any RIA small firms that you like, or through connections or whatever, it's a great place to intern and see if you even like it there, because then you can go back. You could do it in the summer depending on where you go to school. Maybe you can work there during the year, or something local to your school. You can go that route and get way ahead of the game, because you're going to pick up years of experience while you're still in college. And then you can come out and you can tell people, I've got 3 or 4 years of experience already, and team up with somebody, or maybe even start your own book early in your 20s. You have a lot of options if that's the route you're looking to go.
Good. I like that. That's awesome. Good advice. Yes, this is great advice from Oka. It's just as hard. And
Yes.
Some, like Jeff, maybe I didn't like it. I have some people that love the 66 and hate the 7. I have some people that love the 7 and hate the 66. It all depends on the way you think. I don't love the 66. I'm good at the 7, the SIE, all that shit. I'm fine. I passed it. It's not a big deal. I got a 90 something on it, but I didn't like it. Okay.
Yeah.
I hold my nose and answer questions. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing. So STC, listen, Ethan. Yeah, you're going to rock this thing. Achievable. I love it the way Achievable teaches it. Their questions have gotten harder and harder. And guys, everyone, understand, if you go on Achievable, they have free questions. You can take a free test, even if you don't pay for the stuff. You can take free tests. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to end after this. Okay. Now, I keep watching the Spanish and I know those words. Okay. Now, so understand pretty much this is what I have to remember. Everything that's a person, meaning that's non-security, IAR, agent, broker dealer, all end on the 31st of December. All IAs pretty much end on the December 31st too. So the only one that's a little different is that federal covered advisors don't really renew. They just do a annual updating amendment, and that just keeps it going. Okay. But they have to pay their fees and all that shit. Somebody got a question which was interesting on the test. I'm not saying you're going to get on the test, but they said an IAR and an IA registered in March, and then the following March they renewed it. What do we know about that? Problem there is that they're fucking late. They're 3 months late. You don't get securities do annual, so security goes like March to March to March to March. But if you register in December, you have to renew 3 weeks later. So it's always think it's the end of the year. Okay, it's going to be the December 31st. That's what you have to think of it. That's the best way to think about it. So if you start in March and you renew every March, and you're an IAR or an age or an IA, you're actually doing business unregistered for 3 months. Okay, not bad. 9:30. It's funny. I know for a fact that the people who are on at 8 o'clock are not the same people who are now. Because no way in hell can someone stay on listening to me for 90 minutes other than Jen. That's why my wife stays out of the house until this is over. Usually I get a text around 9:30 as you're live over. She's not going to listen to me. Okay. Everyone, great night. Have a great weekend. Billy Ambrose, you better not be fucking on here still. Anyway, Agamora, you're going to rock this thing. We're going to get this. I think it's Steven. He's probably gone. It's taking a Saturday. Everyone, come on next week and tell us how it went. That went well, and let's go, baby. We are out of here.